The Red Raiders try to improve against a team that historically they aren't very good against. 2-6 all time. And this right here, that's the command hair-in-chief and new Texas Tech offensive coordinator David Yost. He has a head of lettuce that the West Texas Winds are going to feast on, and it's going to be glorious. I'm interested. Are you concerned because you think about falling up in the shoes of Cliff Kingsbury, now Gus Duggerton? Are you worried at all that Texas Tech is just trying to hire eye candy on the sideline?
Ooh, good question.
This season just recently won 2 straight at Texas. First time Tech has done that. As a member of the Big 12, another place he hasn't won 2 on the road, Gallagher-Iba Arena. It's naturally cliche to say after especially a close loss, hey, we can't get lost in the what-ifs of the game, but it's human nature, especially when you're like Texas Tech and you fail to convert in the red zone like the Red Raiders did, and you give up a drive like the Red Raiders did, up 3 with less than 2 minutes left. Some of the best news to come out of quarantine, cool and creative ways to give guys scholarships, can still happen in a socially distanced world. Now, the NCAA obviously made the announcement that the tournament will be held without fans, but now with the cancellation, we assume of multiple, if not all, the conference tournaments left here on the docket. The big question becomes, will the NCAA tournament go on?
Well, I did just pull it out of my backpack, so it's a little messy.
Don't worry, Maggie Anderson already knows what's going through your head.
I think that they're just thinking I have cancer or something, so they're just worried. So I'll just, I'm cool, it's okay.
Instead, she has alopecia, an autoimmune disease that causes hair loss. Anderson began having symptoms when she was 2.
It started falling out in patches, just little round patches all over her head, and that's when we realized something wasn't right.
I just remember worrying and just worrying for her.
Now for Maggie, there was no adjustment at all. It's all she knows. The transition was not as easy for her parents.
The third dermatologist I went to, once he told us, once again that it was alopecia, for 20 minutes I cried.
But when Anderson is on the court, it's hard not to marvel at her polished game, a game that had her attention from the very start.
I never tried anything else. I just fell in love with basketball, I guess. I remember watching it on TV, and when the teams would win the huge championships, the crowd would go crazy, and that was my favorite part, and I was just like, I want to do that.
And do that she may this season. Her ropes team just completed a 30-0 regular season with that fearless freshman at the forefront.
Maggie just attracts people, and people want to be around Maggie, and people want to listen to Maggie, and I think it's because of the way Maggie treats other people.
So the next time you see her around, don't be hesitant, because Maggie sure isn't.
I'm not shy, so I like talking to other people about it. I thought it was always nice when people asked.
Anybody that comes into contact with Maggie's day is better. She's positive, and she's a ray of sunshine.
For many, Dalhart, Texas is just a small town.
Next thing I know, I'm in the median and I'm struggling to get back even on the road.
But for Jordan Weir, this town and a common stretch of highway changed her life.
I pretty much don't remember anything from there.
But Deb Weir remembers exactly when she got the call on October 15th, 2017.
Said Jordan, 3:13 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, baby girl's calling.
But instead,
it's a flight medic letting me know he's air vacuuming my daughter somewhere.
That somewhere was University Medical Center after a single car accident resulted in Weir being ejected through her driver's side windshield.
As soon as I found out she was ejected, my thought was I'm walking into a child with either missing limbs, paraplegic, quadriplegic, severe brain injury.
I broke my pelvis in 4 places. I had a collapsed lung. I road rash on like 70% of my body, broken ribs, broken fingers, toes. I ended up tearing my ACL, my PCL, and my meniscus in my knee. And then I had a really bad head injury.
I literally bend down and I grab her hand and I just tell her, Jordan, Mommy's here. Gosh. If that child didn't turn and open her eyes briefly, and I knew she was there.
She had plenty of people there with her too, as LCU came together to show its support.
When I got here, her coach was already here. The dean of students was here, the athletic director, the dean of, a lot of people were here at the hospital. Even though I couldn't be, they were here making sure she was okay.
Our girls, you want to talk about responding like a family, they did, and went on several, the LCU community was outstanding. They raised a ton of money, had a prayer vigil, and there was hundreds of people there, and most of them didn't even know Jordan, but that's the kind of place LCU is.
And the support continued even as Jordan's softball future remained in doubt.
Softball, I didn't think it was realistic.
If you would have asked me, I never would have told you she'd ever get back in the circle.
But she battled back, going to therapy 5 days a week, often for 3 hours at a time. And less than a year and a half later,
yes! Woo! That a girl!
with her mom in the stands,
the junior from Cave Creek, Arizona, wearing number 3. Welcome back, Jordan Ware.
Was back where she belonged.
Even during the national anthem, it was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be in that circle again.
If you would have asked me a year ago if you thought I'd be here right now, I would have said no way ever. Being stuck in a bed from day to day, being in the hospital, and then, being able to go pitch the first game of the season, it's just, every athlete I think hopes for. If they get injured, it's that get back into the swing of things, get back into the game you love.
The neurosurgeon had a great comment for her, and it was, Jordan, you have lived 8 of your 9 lives. You better make this one count. The Lord wasn't ready for her. He has a plan for her, and that's what I keep telling her. And while she thought softball was her life for so many years, whatever he's got planned for her is going to be pretty darn good.